Today I'm going to be doing a book review on this book called The 40 Rules of Love. Author is Elif Shafak. This book is a two-parallel narrative about a Sufi named Rumi who has an encounter with his spiritual mentor, and it's also about an American housewife who is inspired by Rumi's message of love, named Ella, and she finds courage to undertake her own transformation. When I first started reading this book, I didn't know that it would be a two parallel narrative. I thought that it would just be giving facts about love, about like maybe how a woman should be in a relationship, how we should treat each other as people. It definitely kind of threw me off when it went to from one narrative to the other, but I did kind of see how they both responded with each other when I continued to read. And I'm just going to give you a little information about the book. I don't want to spill it because I do want you guys to read this book because I definitely enjoyed it. So I'm going to speak a bit about the first narrative, and that's with Ella, the American housewife. In that narrative, Ella had problems in her marriage. Her husband, David, was known for infidelity. She didn't really trust him. Her house was really not a home. She had 3 kids, a set of twins, Orly and Avi, and her daughter name was Jeanette. Ella had to read this book called Sweet Blasphemy. She was a student, so she had to read the book. She was interested in the book and very interested in the author, and she did some research about the author, and then she continued. Then she went on to email him personally to give her view of the book, and that led to them having a lot of back and forth messages, giving their opinions about different topics, getting to know each other as well. Do you think they met up? Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I will let you read the book. Jeanette came home one day and told Ella that she was going to get married. Ella she wasn't really in favor of that decision. She kind of said some things that she regret, but I will let you guys read the book to see what happened in that situation. And I feel like a lot of what happened in their reality referred back to the book that she was reading. So that may be a reason why Ella emailed the author, Aziz, that's his name, and wanted to know more and understand exactly what he meant by certain things in the book. It really wasn't too much with this first narrative, and I'm not going to give away too much information. Like I said, read the book. The second narrative, on the other hand, was my favorite because it was so much more with that narrative. It was so many more people. It were so many different situations in that narrative, and it kept me interested. It really did. And this is the narrative about Rumi and when he met his spiritual mentor. And his spiritual mentor name is Shames of Tabriz. Shames of Tabriz, some people hated him, some people love him. I won't give out the information about why they hated him. I'll let you read the book to find that out. But some people did. And some people really took in his words and they accepted him for who he really was. And I feel like Rumi also shared that type of hate because some people didn't like Rumi as well, but some people also adored him. Rumi was a scholar who only taught men. He didn't teach women until one day. This is when Kimya came into Rumi's life. Kimya came into his life one day by a friend being at her house for dinner and telling her parents how highly he thought of her. She was a gifted person, and she was so unusual to him. He felt like she needed to be taught. And her mom had different opinions. She felt like she would only amount to being a housewife, taking care of kids, being a carpenter. But her dad agreed with the friend that told her to go see this scholar named Rumi. And they went on a trip. And at first, Rumi wasn't gonna go for it. But then something changed his mind about her. Kimya was the only one in her family who had this special gift. Her mom and her sister were kind of against her special gift. And her special gift is what got Rumi to be open-hearted and welcoming to teach a girl, a female. Rumi then also adopted Kimya when she was 12 years old to teach her. Rumi also had a wife named Kira, and he had 2 sons. One of his sons, Aladdin, he was really hoping to marry Kimya. He had this great love for her. He was waiting to marry her. And on the other hand, Kimya had other plans. Kimya was interested in someone else. And I won't spill that tea. I'm so excited. I really want you guys to read this book because it's so good. I want to talk about another character that stood out to me in this book. Her name was Desert Rose the Harlot. And she was basically like this escort. She felt like she was never going to amount to anything. She felt like she was never going to escape the patron. The patron, that was the person over them. And she always had these conversations with Shane the Tabbers, and he kind of changed her life. And she also had this out-of-body experience that made her believe in herself, push to be more. And that's what I'm glad that she turned out to be that way. Babers was also another character that stood out to me. I didn't really like Babers. Babers did not like Rumi. He did not like Shane the Tabbers. He did not like Rumi because he felt like Rumi preached submissiveness. He felt like that would lead Muslims to be a flock of sheep. He thought that would make them weak, them giving in, you know. And he thought that people should move with force if force is being brought upon them. He was a soldier, if I'm not mistaken. And I also hated him for something else that he did in this book. He had a conflict with Desert Rose. I will say that. And when that happened, that changed my whole outlook of him because I wasn't even, against him. But then when he did what he did, I was like, oh, like, you are that person. So that's one character that I hated in the book. If I had to choose a favorite character, mine would be Shane the Tabbers because I feel like he wasn't a bad person. He had his different ways of showing people who he were. He wasn't a regular person. That's what I feel like. That's why people hated him because he was not regular at all, and he always had a message, and he knew what he was talking about. He was very smart. He was Rumi's spiritual mentor. Like, come on now. Rumi is a famous poet. Like, this man shames the terrorists. I don't feel like he should have been hated, but he was, so whatever. So that's all I'm gonna give you guys about this book. I really would like for you guys to read this to see how it ended for both narratives, because it ended pretty, you know, shocking. It was very shocking for me. So I definitely recommend this book. You should be able to get it on eBay or Amazon, or just search the book and I'm pretty sure you'll find somewhere to get it online. And I'm going to show you a couple of books that I have started reading. So I've started reading these 4 books, and I never really wanted to start reading so many books at once, but I never know what I want to read at the time. But this one right here, Wheels of Life, I did not finish this book, and I should, because I didn't even get that far, but I was already really familiar with the 7 chakras. I love how it makes me feel like you get to learn more about your body, like you get to embrace your spiritual self. And I'm definitely gonna read more into it. I will. I like this book, The Black Woman's Guide to Understanding the Black Man. Yes. I read a little bit of this book and I'm already interested because it tells you how like slavery and different things like that affect the black man and how the black man acts and why the black man have and why the black man has this image. So I'm definitely going to get back into this because I definitely want to understand. Period. I started reading a little bit of this book, Don't Take Your Life Personally. It's definitely a challenging book. It's not, I wouldn't say it's just too challenging, but it is challenging because you have to really understand what the author is trying to say. I'll put it like that. It teaches you about meditation. It teaches you to live in the moment. And I'm really going to read back into this book to understand more. But it really is very big on that. Living in the moment. Don't change what's going on in the moment. Let it happen. So I'm definitely going to get into this. Definitely. The next book is Jambalaya, The Natural Woman's Book of Personal Charms and Practical Rituals. I started reading this book. Y'all know this is a Louisiana book, period. It talks about this horrific meaning that voodoo has when it's really not that. And I'm definitely gonna get back into this book because I want to understand, because all my life I've had this bad image about voodoo, so I'm definitely gonna understand and see what they have to say. I get into them because these are some really good books. Get into them for yourself. You need to get that brain stimulating sometimes. You feel me? So do that. Period. I love this book, and I actually finished this book all the way. I'm proud of myself. And I have more to go. I have more and more books, you guys. So I'm going to be doing a lot of book reviews. But first I have to read them. So yes. So I'm also here to give you guys a little update on my locks. I'm going to have some pictures up to show you guys where I started from, because I came a long way. I got my starter locks August 11th of this year. This is my first retwist. I retwisted them myself, and I'm so proud of myself because I really did it. Like, I really did, period. But I just want to say I'm so excited that I locked my hair up. When I first went natural, I was just so devastated y'all. My hair was not growing how I wanted it to grow. And then you know what? One day I said I'm gonna lock my hair up. The day came for me to get it locked, and I've been so happy ever since. Like, this is the best thing. This is the best decision I have ever made for myself. I encourage those to go ahead and get your locks if you have been thinking about getting them, because your girl have finna be, period. I'm finna be, my locks finna be downhill, like long. And I already look good like this. Child, please. But yes, your girl is getting there. Getting there. Getting there. Period. To all my new subscribers, welcome to my channel. I appreciate you so much. So this concludes my book review video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. For more videos, comment down below what type of video you want to see next. Make sure you tune in every week to see what will be under your girl Breeze umbrella.